Caucasian. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is August 2nd, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today? It is a little overcast, hot, and a little humid. 62% here in Singaraja. The temperature is 30.6 degrees Celsius, and the wind speed is a low 4.6 kilometers per hour. And a couple of things before we get started. One, in case you noticed, yes, my face is swollen a bit. No, I didn't get beat up yesterday. One of my teeth cracked, and I can't get to the dentist until tomorrow. So with all that being said, lots of stuff. This is the first week that I'm doing twice a week, and it is Tuesday, and so there is a lot of stuff here, some good and some bad, some of which has made international news. In fact, several of the segments I'm going to be talking about have made international news really quick and all over social media as well. But let's take a look at the numbers first, which are down. The national new cases, 3,696, a big drop from last week, but this is Tuesday, and so the numbers are from yesterday, Monday, and so there might be a drop for the weekend, but the other day it was lower too, so that's a good sign. National recoveries, 4,579, national deaths, 11, Bali new cases, 149, that is way down from the other day, Bali recoveries, 178, and Bali deaths, 1. So, good news on the numbers, and as I said before, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth and dwell on it. The numbers are down, and as people have commented that watched my Singaraja snippets, the fun day, the Sunday fun day, car-free day in Singaraja, yeah, a lot of people not wearing masks. Let's get into the main story. Well, actually, there's two main stories again today. First one, PayPal. That's the big one. And some gaming sites have been blocked by the government. And the government has been threatening to do this for a long time. And a lot of the big companies caved in and just registered with the government, even though a lot of them didn't want to, apparently. PayPal has not. And PayPal, I guess, is owned by Yahoo now. And so they have not, along with some gaming companies. Government faces public outrage over blocking of PayPal popular gaming websites. Outcry over the Communications and Information Ministry's decision to block access to 8 popular electronic service providers, and its controversial licensing policy continues, particularly on social media, even after it temporarily opened access to payment gateway platform PayPal on Sunday. And I'll talk about that in the next segment. A total of 8 ESPs, that's PayPal, Yahoo, online gaming platforms such as Stream, Dota, Counter-Strike, Epic Games, and Origin.com, as well as data platform Xandr.com, were all blocked on Saturday for failing to meet last week's deadline of the licensing policy. The requirements to register, stipulated in the controversial 2020 ministerial regulation on private ESPs, which also grants the ministry the right to block access to digital platforms if they failed to register by July 20th. This July 20th just passed. The government's ESP regulation has been hugely unpopular, spawning an online movement under the hashtag #BlockHereCominfo, Block the Communication and Information Ministry, that criticized the licensing policy as hurting freelance workers who use PayPal and Indonesia's online gaming industry. And I know some kids who do make money on the gaming platforms, and well, they've been hurt by this. And the Minister of Communication and Information today came out and said, I appreciate all the comments and everything that people said, but this is simple. All they have to do is register. It's not a big deal. And I did open up PayPal. The hashtag, which has been used by 70,000 tweets protesting the policy as of Sunday, set off a trend among social media users of sharing internet memes and ridicule, mostly targeted at Communications and Information Minister Johnny G. Plate of the pro-government Nasdem party. Some 200 foreign and 8,700 domestic private ESPs, including massively popular platforms such as Zoom, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Google, and YouTube, had registered with the Communications and Information Ministry before the July 20th deadline. Under the ministry's ESP regulation, all registered platforms must take down content that incites unrest or disturbs public order. I love doing the air quotes. Within 24 hours of receiving a ministry instruction to do so. If a platform ignores the order, the ministry can order internet service providers to block access to it. And this has been criticized. The Jakarta Legal Aid Institute described on Sunday the government's blocking of PSEs as a form of digital authoritarianism, saying that it infringed on the public's right to freedom of information. LBH Jakarta said that the ministerial regulation was not strong enough to be the legal basis to enforce such blocking, and that the regulation had always been problematic, particularly since it allowed the government access to personal information under the guise of law enforcement. With more than half of the country's 270 million people having access to the internet, according to 2020 Statistics Indonesia survey, Indonesia continues to be a significant market for a host of tech platforms, particularly since the country is also known for its social media savvy youth, including my children and my grandchildren. Okay, so controversial, and they're blocked. And so people freaked out because when they blocked PayPal, there are apparently a significant number of people here that use PayPal to make money, people that are doing online work. And well, once they blocked it, how are you going to get in? Now, according to some social media posts, people had tried to get around it by using a VPN, and PayPal blocked their accounts because they were using VPNs. PayPal can be a real problem. I have a PayPal account, and I am going to learn how to live without it. There are other ways to transfer money here, and well, I'm going to use those. There's no telling what PayPal is going to do. Communication Ministry gives chance to block online platforms to register. So the Ministry of Communication and Informatics said that they've opened communication with operators of the blocked online platforms after they were deemed non-compliant in fulfilling the requirements to electronic system provider PSE registration. According to the ministry's Director General of Informatics Applications, he said opportunities are always open for anyone wanting to be part of Indonesia's digital ecosystem, either domestic or foreign. He noted that operators of online platforms Steam, Dota 2, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which have been blocked, are already in conversations with the government in terms of registration. He said hopefully they could fulfill the service requirements soon and residents who use their service can access it once again. The officials stated that online game platforms Epic and Origin, as well as Yahoo, also blocked due to non-compliance, are yet to communicate with the ministry. However, he confirmed that the authority has temporarily unblocked PayPal in response to grievances of residents who could not get their money. Right, I mean, how well thought out was this? The platform will remain unblocked until August 5th. If you got money in PayPal, you might want to get it somewhere else. And he suggested that residents utilize the opportunity to withdraw their funds from PayPal to other financial platforms. Okay, and so there's a lot of talk about where to go and how to do this and what is going to happen by Friday. Is Yahoo going to register so that people can use PayPal or not? Okay, the next main story is one that has gone viral. Wow, really viral. And it is everywhere, and it's gotten responses from the government already. And so I've got a couple of segments on that. Let's take a look at the first one. Author of the 5-hour Q blog at Ngurah Airport rebuked by immigration officers. So it was revealed that the writer is a German citizen, and he didn't really experience this himself. So he wrote this article, and he wrote it in the first person. But in fact, what he was doing was using somebody else's experience, according to every article I've read about this so far. But he wrote it in the first person like it happened to him. Okay, so that is one problem. The Regional Office of the Ministry of Law and Human Rights Bali province responded to news about the processing problem, and according to the article, it took up to 5 hours for some people to get through, and there were a lot of photos of long queues at the airport. The author of the blog was immediately identified, and it was revealed that the writer, who is a German citizen, did not experience it himself, and he only wrote from confessions of other foreigners. And so, as I said, this is all over the internet, and lots of people throwing in what has happened to them. And so some people saying, yeah, I had to wait 3 hours, I had to wait 4 hours. Other people saying I was out in 30 minutes. So a lot of different responses. So the German citizen, for his actions, the immigration officer reprimanded the foreigner concerned and was expected to leave the island of the gods before the next 30 days. So he came in on a VOA. Now, it's really unclear to me. It says he's expected to leave before the next 30 days. So it doesn't say that you're kicking him out. It says they expect him to leave before the next 30 days. So does that mean make sure he's out when his VOA is up, or are they telling him get out now? Not really clear as of this point. The head of the regional office of the Ministry of Law and Human Rights said that the writing of an international blogger made his party take immediate action. His party, through Immigration Office Class 1, immediately conducted an in-depth investigation of the foreigner concerned, right? So first thing you're going to do is check the foreigner to find out what he's doing. He said they were able to track him using CCTV footage at the airport, and during the examination, it turned out that the foreigner only took 53 minutes since he got off the plane and took care of a number of documents needed when he entered Bali. According to the immigration spokesperson, we immediately took action to trace the foreigner. Is it according to the writing or not? It turns out this is far from reality. The official did not say where the foreigner was staying. However, he was found out. The sad thing is, the official said that the German foreigner could not confirm when and where the queue occurred and was only limited to hearing about it from other foreigners. For his actions, he was given a warning and told to leave the island, as I said, before the 30 days is up. Okay, this must be a newbie. You should know better than to come down and embarrass the government publicly, and especially in social media when it just takes off. And you can go back and in previous videos, I've talked about other foreigners that have done that. There was the Australian lady complaining on the beach about people bothering her, traders bothering her on the beach, and there's been a multitude of these problems, and once they go on social media, the government does respond. So anything you say on social media about Bali, it's being monitored, and so you've got to watch what you say. Free speech is not the same here as it is, say, in the US or in Australia. And so you need to watch what you're saying negative. There's some there is some self-censorship that comes in here, unfortunately, and that's one of the things that human rights groups criticize the government about, especially with the ITE law. And the official doesn't deny that the conditions at the airport are currently under construction. So he said the conditions are a little bit disturbed. It's just that the time for inspection process is no more than 2 hours, he said. And that's because there's a reduction in immigration counters because of the construction. Remember, I've talked about this a couple of videos ago, making things ready for the VVIPs coming in. So far, there are 16 counters, but when the work process is going on, there's only 13 operating, he said. The reality is that there will be no more than 2 hours when there's a revitalization and beautification at the airport. Meanwhile, the general manager of Angkasa Pura, who runs the airport, said that they have a schedule of aircraft, especially large aircraft, and so they anticipate when there will be large numbers of foreigners coming in. And he said, yes, okay, some of the counters aren't open because we've got this construction going on, but there are 15 that are operating normally. So the numbers change. It's 13, is it 15, is it 16? I don't know. There are queues, apparently, and queues are common in a lot of places. I'm not going to support this one way or the other. I've been in queues at the airport, both coming and leaving, that lasted a couple of hours, and this was a long time ago, and it's not pleasant. But you read this article, it talks about people almost fainting and that there was a fight happened and immigration officials had to break it up. There's a lot of, the original article called it a hellhole. It was revised to make it not quite so bad, but it was very critical of the airport and the government. And whether you like it or not, you just cannot do that here. And a follow-up, response to tourist complaints at the airport. Deputy Governor monitors international arrival terminals. So the Deputy Governor got involved in this. And you know the Deputy Governor and the Governor have gotten involved in these situations where some things happen and negative stuff about Bali hits social media. So after being made aware of the news about the 5-hour blog, the Deputy Governor went down to the mountain, it said, to directly check the latest immigration at the airport, and he was down there on Sunday. According to the Deputy Governor's observations, he said that on Sunday there were 16 counters that were open. And he said 3 more are under repair. Is there 16 and 3 is 19, 15 and 3 is 18? I don't know. Not really clear. But not all the counters are open. If you've been to the airport many times, I know you've probably been standing in line and you see one open and one not open and one open and one not open. Well, things are, in my experience, the last time I came in, which was 4 years ago, I was in and out in 20 minutes. But I did come in late at night. And I have a key top, so I was able to just go through. But that doesn't work for everybody, unfortunately. The Deputy Governor said that the improvement process should be accelerated considering the number of foreign tourists visiting every day is increasing. And I've got a segment on that coming up. Indeed, passenger goods seem to take a long time to process, he said, between 30 minutes and an hour. Okay, 30 minutes to process goods, I guess he's talking about processing goods customs. 30 minutes, that ain't bad. But I have asked and hope that the process of waiting for passenger goods can be accelerated. This is not anybody's fault. However, the Deputy Governor did ask airport immigration to add special seats for the disabled and the elderly, that would be me, in the baggage claim queue area. This is important to do to provide adequate service to airport service users. And the Deputy Governor had a chat with a couple of French tourists and they said, no problem, everything is okay, Deputy Governor. And so this is going to be an ongoing story, and I would not be surprised if things speed up a little. And if you are coming in or have just gotten in recently, leave a comment. What's your experience like? Is it good? Is it bad? A long time in immigration, a long time at VOA if you're getting VOA. How long did baggage take? Baggage used to be forever from what I remember. Okay, let's move on. As I said, I was going to talk about numbers of people because the Deputy Governor said we got to get this stuff fixed because numbers are going up every day. Foreign tourist arrivals, room occupancy rates skyrocket in June. Statistics Indonesia, BPS, and I talk about them a lot, recorded foreign tourist arrivals to Indonesia in June 2022, reaching 345,044, skyrocketing by virtually 2,000% from June 2021. So, wow, we're going up 2,000% since last June. Compared to the previous month, foreign tourist arrivals in June 2022 saw an increase of 62.69%. Okay, and that was expected, and it's expected that August is going to have numbers even higher. The room occupancy rate, the TPK, of star hotels in June hit 50.28%, or 11.73% increase compared to the previous month. The TPK of non-star hotels in June 2022 was up by 23.92%. Late last year, the Tourism and Creative Economy Ministry projected foreign tourist arrivals this year would reach 1.8 to 3.6 million. And so people are coming in. We know that, and that's a good sign. Okay, this is August 2nd. You know, I talked a lot about Komodo and that huge price increase, and so it was supposed to start yesterday, and apparently it did. And what is happening? Month-long protest at Komodo and Labuan, Bajo. A large group of tourism operators in Labuan, Bajo have called a stop work protest event for the entire month of August to protest against the raise to 3.75 million. According to Rafael Tahir, the group's coordinator, the protest is to express their dissatisfaction with the hike to the national park by the provincial government of East Nusa Tenggara. He said, establishing an exclusive franchise on some park activities by a regional government company, PT Flobamore, represents an illegal monopoly of the local tourism sector. The protesters claim that the government's increased admission costs and appointment of monopolies within the park impoverish the people of Labuan Bajo. Because of this, the group is calling for a halt to tourism activities and services. Protesters include tourist boats, ground transportation operators, restaurant owners, hotel operators, photographers, guides, and food providers. According to Tahir, the tourists are not banned from coming to Komodo, Labuan Bajo during this shutdown period, but he warned that they would not be met upon arrival. So if you are going to Labuan Bajo, Komodo, wow, leave a message and let us know what things look like. Leave a comment. This is really fascinating what's happening here. The head of tourism for East Nusa Tenggara said that the provincial government is going to charge the 3.75 million to enter the park, and said the fees generated from the higher admission charge are needed to protect and preserve the park's ecosystem. And next up, good news if you've got kitties, bad news if you're a traditional conservation, I like Bali in the old days person. And what is that? Deal for Bali Paramount Picture theme park. And where is it coming? Not down in that little southern area where they can keep the concrete jungle and all the hotels and the beach clubs and all that stuff. Nope, this is moving. Now, as I said, that's going to be good news for people that have young kids and they want to go out and do something. It's going to be good news for people in the area that want work, for the government that is going to get some taxes, for people that miss the old days of just driving around and hanging out with locals and being on the beach and palm trees and all that. Those days are rapidly leaving. The creation of Paramount Theme Park in Bali made significant progress on Tuesday the 26th of July with the signing of a development construction agreement between PT Kios Ria Kriasi and Paramount Pictures in the USA in an online ceremony. The online signing of the agreement is needed to commence project construction. The event was attended by representatives of the two companies and witnessed by the region of Jembrana, because that's where it's going to be built, in Jembrana, and the Creative Economy Minister and the Governor of Bali. So the big guns are behind us. You've got Pak Sandiago Uno, Governor Coster, the Bupati of Jembrana. They are behind us. And you might remember that it wasn't that long ago, and we're going to be focusing on the culture of Bali. I'm sure Paramount Theme Park is going to be all about the culture of Bali. The Bupati said, today is a historic date for the Regency of Jembrana. According to the Bupati, he said the signing affirmed that we will now achieve Jembrana's desire to become home to an international standard entertainment attraction with the construction of the Paramount Theme Park Bali. Okay, and pay close attention to this next sentence. When completed, Tamba said the Paramount Theme Park Bali would become the largest theme park in Southeast Asia, a magnet for international tourists to Jembrana. He added the significant development in tourism sector would increase Jembrana's region's economy. Okay, and so this is another biggest in Southeast Asia. So we've got that beach club, what's it called? Atlas, okay, biggest in Southeast Asia. And now we're going to have the biggest theme park. We got this little island and we're going to have all this big stuff. Where is everything else going to fit in here? Ooh. The Bupati said, God willing, we continue to pray for success. We welcome this project because it will bring extraordinary change to the income, progress, and performance of the Regency of Jembrana. It will bring change. And let's get on to something a little more traditional for tourism, both domestic and international. Klungkung returns to work on the Nusa Penida Festival. The festival was last held in 2019 before the pandemic. It's been stopped for 2 years and started again, just like the Car-Free Days in Singaraja. The head of the Klungkung Tourism Office, Nakagung Putra Wadana, said that 2022 will be the 6th year of the Nusa Penida Festival, and the plan is to hold it in October. So if you want to get to see the Nusa Penida Festival and you're going to be here in October, weather is usually still good in October, so you might want to get over there. However, Pak Agung Wadana said that he's not been able to reveal the activities that will be held. And meanwhile, the financing is lower than before due to the limited financial condition of the region due to the pandemic. And so there's going to be a festival, but apparently it's not going to be as flashy, as plush as before. But that could be a good thing. And so if you want to see a festival in Nusa Penida, don't forget October, and keep track here. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing and you will find out when this happens, because I keep up on the local news. And as an addition, during the 2019 Nusa Penida Festival, the festival was enlivened by the Johnny Agung Music Group with reggae, and Capital's TX musicians with ska music, and DJ Donata's live action, and the sound of fireworks as closing. Thousands of spectators thronged the coast and the harbor and seemed to be lost in the chanting of reggae, ska, and techno genre songs performed by the musicians. And so, be there. And I mentioned Atlas, the famous beach club. They're getting involved in community activities. This is part of being a good neighbor and employer. Tibubeneng Village collaborates with Atlas, distributes food packages. The assistance for basic food packages is still being intensively carried out in this traditional village for residents who are considered to be in need. Over the weekend, hundreds of residents received food packages that were handed over on the sidelines of the Bali Bazaar Day, an event which was held in the Sagara Perancak Public Square. The food package assistance, according to the village head, Made Kamajaya, was in the form of cooperation with the private sector, Atlas Beach Club, and they delivered 380 packages under their Atlas Beach Fest Care program. According to the village head, Atlas Beach Care operates in the village area, and he said, "We welcome investment in our village, especially since this investment will benefit our residents. Moreover, the beach club is the largest in Southeast Asia. Bigger is better. Absorbs a lot of labor from our residents, so people are being employed," and that's a good thing. Meanwhile, Tommy Dimas, the public relations person from the Atlas Beach Club, said that distribution of basic needs was carried out as a corporate social responsibility, CSR, from his company. He said, "We're in the midst of the community and have a social responsibility. Meanwhile, what we can do is provide basic material assistance to people in need." Here is a local behaving badly, and this action has been around for a long time. I got hit with this in 1996. So, trying to escape, perpetrators of Australian tourist car tires shot. You see the photo, the guy with the bandage on his leg, right? That's Indonesian press likes to say, he got hot lead in the leg. So you try to escape from the police here, they're going to shoot you in the leg. Badung police shot the left leg of theft perpetrator with a tire punch motor. Oh, that's a terrible translation. So they got this guy, he's from South Sulawesi, and what was he doing? He stuck a piece of metal that came apparently from an umbrella into the tire of a car, and then they follow along on the motorbike as the car is going along and air is being let out. And then when it gets down to a point where it's pretty low, the motorcycle driver pulls up alongside to be a good Samaritan and says, "Hey, you got a flat tire, They always do it on the opposite side so that when you get out, you have to go over and you're behind the car so you can't see what's going on. While you're down checking your tire out, they get their hand, they reach in, they grab whatever bags are available there, and they are off." So here, fortunately, the perp was caught. A number of valuables belonging to the victim were a bag containing a cell phone, a gold ring, and $2.5 million in cash. So not that much money. The victim did report it to the police, and the police, based on the report, did an investigation. And they were able to find the perpetrator in the Mengwi area. And when they got there, he tried to escape, and they took decisive action and shot him in the leg. And so he is in big trouble, and the foreigner is happy, got all this stuff back, and so that worked out good. And a bule behaving badly. We got the local behaving badly, now we got a bule behaving badly. This is a drug case. Police reveal possession of 7 bottles of liquid cannabis at American Caucasian house. And so apparently the American had a package sent to him from Thailand where he had family, or his wife's family, and they sent him a package. And in the package was a bunch of stuff, including a bottle of cannabis oil. And well, Customs was suspicious because it didn't have the name of the person it was being sent to. And so it was delivered to the address, and police were there. An Indonesian opened the door, received the package. The police came in. The Indonesian said, "It's not mine, it's my boss's," the American guy. Police did a search. They found 6 more bottles of liquid cannabis there. And the American admitted that his wife's family was sending him cannabis from Thailand. And the head of public relations of the Denpasar police has not yet commented on the arrest of the American Caucasian who owns a bottle of liquid marijuana. "I don't have the data yet. I'll check first," he said. And one final story, and this just came out, and I was reading this last night, and this is international news. This is all over because, well, it's pretty shocking. And this is related to the FMD, foot and mouth disease. Passenger fined $1,874, that's US dollars. This is in CNN. After 2 undeclared McMuffins found in luggage. So a traveler was fined 2,664 Australian dollars after having 2 undeclared egg and beef sausage McMuffins and a ham croissant in his bag, or her bag. And they arrived in Darwin. I love Darwin. The incident came about days after Australian authorities brought in tough new biosecurity rules after foot and mouth disease outbreak in Indonesia spread to Bali. It's been here in Bali for quite a while now. Australia's Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry said a range of undeclared risk products, including the fast food items, were detected in the passenger's rucksack by a biosecurity detector dog named Zinta. "This will be the most expensive Macca's meal this passenger ever has," said the Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, Murray Watt. Apparently he thought it was kind of funny. He said, "The fine is twice the cost of an airfare to Bali, but I have no sympathy for people who choose to disobey Australia's strict biosecurity measures, and recent detections show you will be caught." So if you are here, Australians, and you're going home, make sure you play by the rules. You do not want this to happen to you. And there's one more story. I'm not going to get into it today. Maybe on Friday, as some more news unfolds. 3 foreigners busted with 1 kilo of cocaine. But the article about it was so short, that's all it said. And it said the government was not releasing any more information on this because it was still under investigation. A kilogram of cocaine. That is some money. Okay, that is it. I hope the weather is great where you are, and I hope you're feeling better than I am. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you found this interesting, helpful, useful, informative, scintillating, non-irritating, humorous, I would appreciate a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Latest cooking video from my wife is here, and she was making jajan, and it was so good. And it was something she just popped up. She was going to make chumi. The chumi that was at the market was not very good. And so she just went through the house, found some stuff, and came up with this dish that she has never made before. And it was excellent. So that's there. And if you haven't seen the latest Singaraja snippets, the car-free day, take a look at that too. And you can see what people do in life up here is like for real people that are not involved in the tourist industry. And if you pay close attention, you'll hear a number of people go, "Tourists, tourists!" Yeah, that's me. It's like if you're out somewhere and you see a bear. "Oh, it's a bear!" Well, we don't get a lot of tourists up here, especially since the pandemic. And so, yeah. I stand out sometimes as I'm wandering around with my camera. Okay, thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today, stay safe, and I will see you on Friday, if not before.